Hey, this is JC here at JC's Comics and More, your pop culture superstore at 6725 West Central Avenue. That's Toledo, Ohio, 43617 419 531 6097. JC's Comics and More at hotmail.com. And then you can find the Facebook information in the link below. This is Tuesday, June 28th. Getting ready to start processing the new comics so I can do the new comics videos, but at this collection I got in, processing that, I'd like to thank everybody that's come in and certainly has spent money, whether it be Patrick or Steven or James or Brian or Josh or Ross or just so many of them, and maybe might have some visitors coming up from the south this weekend to buy some stuff. It's worth driving here if you see something that you're interested in, if you watch the videos. You know, driving, say, from Chicago, that's only about a 3-hour drive. Pittsburgh, that's only like a 3-hour drive. It's certainly not a 9-hour drive like from Georgia. So it's certainly worth you guys getting here. You know, if it's worth you thinking it's worth buying, it's worth you coming here. But this video here, I've got to process these amazing Spider-Mans, get those taken care of, but we're going to take a look at the spectacular Spider-Mans and the Spidey Super Stories. Don't have a lot of Spidey Super Stories. There's a few in here. So we got like a number 2. We got 4. I've got some of these that are already pulled aside by a couple of customers. Got these great John Romita covers. Sal Buscema started doing covers afterwards. I should look at the back covers because they had great back covers as well. These back covers there. We got issue 5. They brought a lot of old Spidey villains back that weren't in the Spidey series itself, and also had them team up with characters. I didn't really buy the Spidey Super Stories as a kid because I just, well, for one, they were 10 cents more, and the stories themselves were a little too, even though I liked watching Spidey on the Electric Company, I thought they were a little bit too kiddie. But I kind of wish I would have bought them at that time. But some of these I'm going to probably end up stocking away for myself because this is the most I've had in one collection at one point. Spring cleaning time. Hey, you guys, stay out of that trash. Don't throw away anything to read. Yeah, we keep our old comic books. Easy Reader says, read your comics. Save your old Spidey Super Stories. Read them again and trade them with friends. See? Teaching you to collect comics. Got issue number 7. Got the Green Goblin. Again, these great John Romita covers, and some of these images were used in some corner boxes and stuff like that. Then they started putting the subscription ads on the back. Don't forget, Easy Reader said this comic is easy to read, so catch up with this coupon and clip on. You got issue 11, a Doc Ock, and a fight to the finish. You got J. Jonah Jameson, you got Robbie Robertson, looking like they should look. Oh, it even looks like you got Reed Richards there, making a surprise appearance. And there it is. There's the same ad, just different color background. Now they use the Spidey Super Stories cover at that time in the photo there. You've got the cat, you've got the owl, and there you go. You got another ad there. School's out, but don't take a vacation from reading. Watch for Spidey Super Stories on your new neighborhood newsstand, or clip this coupon and have Spidey sent to you every month. Well, I'm glad this person didn't clip the coupons. There's Shanna, and this here, as you can see, we'll just go to. We'll dig down to some of these Spideys here, because I know I've got the issues in here where they started using that. There is that's where they got that image from. They just reversed it. So that's where that image came from, the corner artwork for starting with Amazing Spider-Man 200. Come on, gang, don't be late the first day of school. Plus, I know how the story ends. And again, you can see it's got the Shanna issue. Look, Harry's reading them. So Flash, you got Mary Jane. Everybody's reading Spidey Super Stories. Got Storm. Might be, I don't know if this is quite the first team up between Spidey and Storm. I think, yeah. This is like 1975. This is before, actually before the Marvel Team Up Annual 1. It was the first team up between Spidey and Storm. I'm not sure if do the X-Men show up in here? Or is it just Storm? No, it's just Storm. So that was pretty big. You can almost say not quite a Storm solo story, but first Storm, they didn't have Wolverine. He didn't show up in there. I think Nightcrawler did, though. It was Captain America, this special bicentennial issue. Spidey wants you to read Spidey Super Stories. And then you've got your first Spidey Super Story stamp. So I have to start putting those on the back there. Kingpin in Fun City. Again, these great John Romita covers. Kingpin is number 2. Got the Jester. There's a rare Jack Kirby cover with John Romita inks. John's inks are so overpowering you really can't see Jack Kirby in this. You might in the mountain or in the city, maybe in the Invisible Girl, you can see it a little bit. There, she was number 4, the Invisible Girl. And I think this is all John Romita on the back here. A couple of those. There's Doc Ock. He's got bags full of money. You can tell because it's got the dollar signs. And also, we had to see issue 15. So either 17 was the first issue with the UPC symbol, or maybe 16 was. Doc Ock is number 5. And look, Doc Ock is hoarding all these copies of Spidey Super Stories. You got Ms. Marvel. This is probably her first really team up outside her book. 1977. There's a quick origin of her. You got the Lizard in here as well. You got the Beetle. On the back, Ms. Marvel says, "Don't miss a single issue of Spidey Super Stories." There she is. And look, she's got the midriff and everything. All right. Hot Ms. Marvel. You got the Green Goblin. Green Goblin cuts Spidey down to size. Isn't that Mysterio's job? And then he's Spidey number 7. You've got Thundra, issue 24 with the Collector, and Lockjaw is the stamp for that issue. Look at that! Look at that blue, the yellow, and the red. Just how that pops. You've got issue 26 with the Sandman. This is sort of the run of Sal Buscema covers. Sal did the artwork on the back too. And he did the stamp as well. And then issue 33 with the Hulk. The Hulk cracks up. And the Hulk was number 17. See, the Hulk's reading that. But it's funny if they would put the comic upside down for the Hulk to read, because he's the Hulk, you know. Next, we've got Spectacular Spider-Mans. Lots of number 1s. Lots of prices and conditions. Prices for anyone out there. Let's just pull this stack down here and make it easier. Look, there's even more. Lots of spectacular, as if I had lots of spectacular ones already from a previous collection. Now I think I have more than enough to last me until I stop doing this one day, and then whoever buys the store, if I do sell it, they'll have copies to go, and they'll be bragging about how, God, they finally sold these Spectacular Spider-Mans. These things are older than when I bought the shop, like I did with some of the stuff I've got in my bins that I bought from Nick. That there's comics that I sell that is older than me owning the shop. And there's a fair amount of number 2s as well. And again, I've got plenty of number 2s from one of the other previous collections. So I've got 2s to last from this lifetime until the next. I'll have to make sure I've got a big suitcase packed full of Spidey Super Stories and Spectacular Spider-Mans when I take my trip either upstairs or downstairs. Probably be downstairs because I got more friends there to hang out with. Lightmaster, again, 3s. You could buy a copy to read once a week. Hell, you could almost buy a copy to read once every day for a month. Or at least once a month. I got my January copy, I got my December copy. I've got you can have your copy to read once a month. This is my January issue of Spectacular Spider-Man 4 I'm reading. But it's great artwork on the front. Got Dave Cockrum. Damn shame that Dave never got around to actually doing an actual issue itself of Spider-Man. I would have loved to have seen a fully penciled issue by Dave Cockrum. I think this is a Romita cover, or at least inks. Again, John's inks are so overpowering, just like Joe Sinnott, that you see them, that you instantly recognize Joe's inks, but you're not quite sure who the penciler is. You have to check and look a little bit. But Cockrum's pencils are pretty. It's pretty hard to hide Dave Cockrum's pencils. That his artwork was very unique. I miss not having new Dave Cockrum stuff. I miss Dave not doing more work back in the day, I guess. But again, plenty of number 7s with Gloria Grant. Look at these things. Lots of 7s. A little bit different color on those two there. We got 10, no number 8 or 9. I suspect some of these comics there's stuff that was pulled out of here because there's stuff that's missing that doesn't seem like it's missing, shouldn't be missing. But that's okay. They pulled some comics out. They made more money. Okay. I guess that was less money for me to pay for the collection. Second appearance of the White Tiger. Number 9 was the first appearance. The previous collection that I didn't have any 9s either. This is L. Milgram and I think Sal Buscema. Nope, it's L. Milgram and Terry Austin. But that's Sal. That's our pal Sal. You can't miss him doing a big hog guy. What's a guy called Razorback? You don't see Razorback. He didn't show up. He was part of the whole trucking, the CB radio fad back in the late 70s. There you've got the Beetle. You've got John Byrne cover. Got Sal Buscema, or not Sal. You've got Gil Kane cover there. Not sure who inked him on that. Might have been Mike. Might have been Frank Giacola. Or hell, it might have been L. Milgram. Issue 19s. You've got several number 20s. 21, Keith Pollard cover with the Scorpion. It's just... So I always liked the Scorpion. He was cool. And here's part of the disco fad, the Hypo Hustler. Isn't it time to bring the Hypo Hustler back? There needs to be a Hypo Hustler movie. Come on, push it. Vault of Fear with the Masked Marauder, Blind Spider-Man. Has to bring Daredevil in to help him out. There's Frank Miller doing the art on this. This is first Frank Miller Daredevil. Frank did those 2 issues of Frank Springer inks. You've got this issue here, which wasn't unbagged. Let me unbag this. It should have been unbagged. They had Jim Mooney pencils, so Miller just did those 2 issues, and then Jim Mooney came on board to do several issues. I like Jim Mooney's amazing, or his Spider-Man work too. And he was a good artist for a Spidey. Frank Springer inks. Frank Springer inks were a little heavy as well. Again, Frank Springer, that he was the inker on Spectacular for a while, and then he actually did the art for a little while too. Issue 40, we've got 41 with Giant Man. 42, this is Mike Zeck. This is crosses over with Fantastic Four. You got 43, John Byrne cover. You got Mike Zeck, took over penciling Spectacular for a little while. Now this has Steve Lealoa. And I like Steve's stuff too. That he was mainly an inker, but he came on and did some work. This I think has Alan Weiss. Now this Alan Weiss cover. And you had Marie Severin. I think they kind of bounced around a little bit trying to find an artist. I think Zeck came back with this here. Yeah, Zeck was back with this. I enjoyed Zeck's run on Spectacular. Marie Severin came back. You got Roger Stern writing. Issue 47, 48. Stern and Marie. Marie wasn't a bad artist on this series either. They always had top people doing this. There's Jim Mooney, Roger Stern. It's kind of crazy. Marvel back then, their quote-unquote worst artists are better than most of the best artists these days. The worst artists that they have working on comics these days, man, they wouldn't allow them to clean the toilets back then. Issue 50, great Frank Miller cover and Joe Rubenstein. Again, you've got John Romita Jr. came on board for a short time. This is slightly before he took over on Amazing Spider-Man. There's another Miller cover. Miller doing Mysterio with Deb right there. Marie Severin came back. So it was like, who are we going to get to do Spectacular this month? There's another Miller cover of Bob Wyacek. Rick Leonardi came on board. There's John Romita and Al Milgrom. Jim Mooney, Frank Springer, once again. Bob Wyacek did this very Steve Ditko influenced cover. And Jim Mooney, again, Frank Miller cover on issue 60. Where are they at here? Hang on a second. Okay, it appears that the comics were either gone through or they weren't put back in proper order when I had them debagged by somebody. We got Frank Miller cover there with Frank Wyacek. Again, doing a Steve Ditko-ish cover. Roger Stern, Jim Mooney. I think that's the second appearance of the Jack O'Lantern. Walt Simonson cover on issue 54. Marie Severin. We got Miller once again. It's kind of crazy. They had Miller doing all these covers, and they only had him doing the 2 issues. I think they could have gotten Frank to maybe get Luke McDonald, maybe come back on board and maybe do another issue. Of course, he did 2 issues of Amazing Spider-Man Annual, so I can't complain too badly. Again, we've got issue. There's another 53 that was out of order. See, these videos are good for me to go through and make sure stuff gets put back in its proper place. Looks like we've got no 56s, unless the 56 is out of order someplace. But we've got 57, and I want to say this, yeah, this is another Miller cover, because you can tell, I mean, you can look at Miller, just like George Perez, and Miller back then at least, he had his own style, you could look at it and tell it was Miller, like, immediately. And Killer Shrike, you've got John Byrne, just like John Byrne. I don't even need to look to see if this is John Byrne, I know it's Byrne. Byrne and Rubenstein, you got The Ringer. Byrne did the artwork on that with Vinnie Coletta. Rare Vinnie Coletta inking John Byrne. There we go. We got the 59 again. And I've got multiple copies of 59 too that came from the 2 different collections. Another 60. We got 61, Ed Hannigan. And Bill Manlow, Ed Hannigan did the art on that. 62, that was Ed Hannigan also. And I think Ed Hannigan started taking over the art at this point. We got 63, John Romita, but you got, again, not seeing the, there it is, Greg LaRoche did the art in that. 64, first appearance of Cloak and Dagger. I've sold a couple of these already. Had somebody pass on them. They weren't quite good enough for him. Probably not good enough to get slabbed, and then who knows. But these are sharp copies nonetheless. What's not good enough for somebody else is more than good enough for others. For my collection, these comics 1,000,000,000% would go in my collection. I am not as picky. I'm not looking at reselling my stuff. But lots of 64s here, including a rare newsstand for issue number 64. 65, a Bob Layton cover, inked by Joe Rubinstein. So you got an inker inked by somebody. And Spidey gets hopped up on Craven's Jungle Drugs. Ed Hannigan, 66, a classic. Look at this, classic covers. He started doing classic covers at that point. 67, 68, again, very Ditko-ish. You can tell he was raised on Ditko. 69, again, very Ditko-ish. Second appearance of Cloak and Dagger. Third appearance of Cloak and Dagger. We got Silvermane. 71, Romita Jr., Frankie Okola. And you've got a painted cover by Ed Hannigan. Very underrated artist. Very underrated artist. Very underrated artist. And then he's doing kind of his best Frank Miller a little bit as well. I mean, look at this. This is better than any current Amazing Spider-Man artist. Issue 73. Issue 74. Poor Deb Whitman. They didn't know what to do with her. They tried giving her, Mary Jane wasn't in Spidey's life at that time, and they tried having Deb Whitman, fill in, but the writers they just didn't know what to do with her. Issue 75, then they brought the Black Cat in. She was the bad girl, so that was good. And then we jumped to 169, 174, 175, annuals 3, and that's it. So I can't think for a second that wasn't comics issues missing from 75 to 169. So stuff that was probably sold, but that's okay. Oh, there's another 169. If you do like these videos, as always, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you've not subscribed to the channel, be sure to like, comment, and share. And we'll have more coming soon. I have my Marvel, DC, and Diamond. I think I'm going to combine all three of those in one video. And then I got product. And I've got to get these Spideys debagged. Other than that, have a great afternoon. Thanks for watching.